Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here with another Building Hogwarts update. And today we're actually going to be taking a look at towards the top of the Ravenclaw Tower that I've been working on. And there's actually going to be four kind of variations of this, because I'm trying to decide which I like the most. Luckily, this tower has four sides, so I'm going to rotate the top of it 90 degrees to show you the different potential versions I made of it, and then you can let me know down in the comments which one you like the best. So currently, the one I'm leaning towards is this first one here, so we're going to call this one number 1 on the build. Relatively straightforward. You can see I used a bunch of these angled brick pieces like this to make these actual tower tops here, and then there is a one stud wide gap in each one, which is to represent the windows that are present on this tower. After I finished putting this stuff together, I realized that technically the top section is supposed to be just slightly shorter than this bottom section. Right now they're exactly the same height, which was by design because I thought this was what they're supposed to be. I didn't look closely enough at the pictures, so I might do a little bit of rebuilding to change that. And then for the sections that doesn't have this angled brick, I used a headlight brick, these ones here that have the stud a little bit indented on it, and then just stuck a 1x2 tile up against it. You will notice that there is a row of tiles further down here that sticks out more. And I have to say that's probably the most satisfying part of this build, because this is a 1x3 tile, 1x3 tile, 1x3 tile that went all the way around here, and they actually line up very nicely. Very similar technique. These tiles on, I guess, the front here, they're just attached to studs on the side with non-indented studs. And then for the angled parts of it, that's a headlight brick that then has a 1x1 plate on it. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit further. There we go. So headlight brick with a 1x1 plate, and then just have the 1x3 tile stuck right on it there, and it just lined up perfectly. And with how the build on these other parts went here, we can see this one a little bit better. So that is a cheese slope that is stuck on one of those headlight bricks, which made it so it was indent, or it was in far enough that the tiles didn't run into it, so I could still fit the 1x3 tile there on this particular version, which was, like I said, very satisfying. I don't know if it looks the best. One problem with these types of bricks, and that I don't like, is there are a lot of little holes around it. So the angled bricks themselves have these two little gaps on them, and then there's all these gaps within there. I had the same type of problem when I did these bell towers over here. So that's pretty much where I stole the build from. I just had to make it a little bit wider. So it is now these 9 studs, or no, it's 7 across for each tower. Of course, it being an odd number does make putting a roof on it difficult, which we'll talk about here a little bit later. But this is side number 1. You'll see very similar techniques on the other sides with just some slight variations. I'm going to leave my minifigure up here to remember this is side number 1. So side number 2, you can see a good look at the angles there as I rotate it around. So this one, the difference is the window is wider, obviously. It's 3 windows wide instead of 2, which does line up better widthwise with these windows down here, because on the actual model you can tell that the big windows towards the top of the tower are wider. So the other option here would be to swap them out for these windows and then just have glass in them instead of the lattice that you can see there. So I think that would probably look pretty good as well. The other big difference, of course, is that this section here is not 2 studs wide like it was back on side 1, and like you'll see on the other sides. So there's side 1 again. here's side 2. So I think this one looks fairly good, and it uses the same pieces other than that. It's just not as wide for the columns, but the window is slightly wider. Here is the third version. So for this one, it's kind of in between those two. These columns here don't come out as far. It doesn't look like they come out as far because I used the 1x3 or 3x3, whatever I used this size of angle brick for both this angle as well as these angles here. I think this one looks all right as well. This is actually the first one I put together. So that's option number 3. And then option number 4 here, you'll see is quite a bit different. So to get the angled sections here, I just have a bunch of, or a long 1x, I don't know, 12 or something plate here with the cheese slope stuck on it, and that is attached via a studs knot on top building to the side. So actually I can pull it off. So that's what that is, just attached to these studs here. And that kind of gives it a little bit cleaner look as far as the, I've knocked pieces out of it. I didn't realize that one further up was not attached. Just a moment. We'll at least get it attached at the bottom again. Okay. So, this is side 4 here. So like I said, this is a little bit cleaner looking maybe. It doesn't have all of these holes and gaps, but it also means that this middle section doesn't match these other sides. So not entirely sure what I think about that one. But again, let me know what you think as far as which one you like the best. So we'll do a quick spin between all of them. So here is side 1, side 2 with the wider window, side 3 kind of in the middle there but with longer angles just beside the window, and then side 4, which is a completely different build. So again, let me know what you think about those down in the comments. And as far as interior of this, I'm picturing at least the lower part here, kind of from the top of the window down mainly, being the Ravenclaw common room, and then trying to fit dorms up above. I might have to make it so the Ravenclaw common room only comes up to about where this run of tiles is, and the dorms be up above that. I think that would work the best as far as splitting them up and having height on things. But getting between those floors on the interior is a bit of a challenge. So let me show you the inside of the tower here. So there is a big old spiral staircase there. As you can see on the left side, it goes up above that window, which leaves very little space to fit in the dorms. So I really like this staircase design, but it's just a little bit too tall. I could potentially have it spiral only up to like the middle of it, so then height-wise it would line up better. It looks a little bit funny, I think, when I do that, but maybe if I have, you know, then a balcony running off and then the dorms in this section, that would work. The other option, of course, is that I don't have anything in the rest of the tower. Actually, I need to rebuild this anyway, because this is still that rough draft version I had in the last video. Is I could put the dorms underneath the common room, I suppose. It wouldn't really cause a lot of issue. I mean, it wouldn't line up super well with the books, because in that it describes, oops, knocking stuff off. It describes that there is the Rowena Ravenclaw statue, there's my placeholder for it, at the base of a staircase that then goes up to the dorms, which is exactly how it looks here. So that is what I would like to do. I'm just not sure entirely how practical that will be, because I still need to put a roof on above this, and that will really reduce the space for the dorms. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do the roof, though. If I can get this to sit back down, I'll show you the rough draft of that has been made. And I ran out of parts super fast. I thought I would have enough to get a couple sides of the roof done. I did not. I don't know how I thought I would have enough. We'll place this on here. It just sits down in between the tops of these points. So there's the idea of what that will look like. The problem is, as I mentioned before, these towers on the side are 7 studs wide. But to get these to actually be able to come up to the point, they have to be an even number of studs wide, like these side towers. So right now, you can kind of get away with it by having it stick off a little bit to the outside and not on the inside. It doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely off center. Let me move the camera over slightly here. So it's definitely a stud off, which is not ideal. So I'm still figuring that out because I like having these gaps here like this. The other option, of course, would be to do a little bit of rebuilding and try to figure out a way to make it so this section can be just 6 studs wide, and then still try to build a gap in there or just not leave a window at all. But I tried that once. It didn't look very good. So that's why I have these in here. But if you have an idea for how I should build that instead to make it work a little bit better, let me know. Because as always with Hogwarts, it's constantly changing and the robes are always a pain. But let's go ahead and actually take a look around. We're going to just do a quick walk around of the castle here. So right now the astronomy tower has been moved over so I could actually get in here to film this. But we'll see all of the sides here in their, I guess, current positioning so you can get a little bit better idea of how you want, or how they look, what looks the best, which version you think I should use here. And then there's that other side. So height-wise, I think this actually works out pretty well. So the astronomy tower isn't directly behind it anymore, but the very peak of this tower here is just about the same height as like this tower here. It's, I think, slightly shorter than that side tower. So the astronomy tower is still taller than it. So we're all good there. But that'll pretty much do it for this video. Again, let me know which of these versions you think look the best. And apologies if I've been a little bit quiet here. I'm trying not to wake anybody up in the house. But thank you for watching. Please keep on coming back for more videos.